I was at first, man. I was like scared off because there's so many Dagestanis in the crowd, and I've trained with tons of dudes from Dagestan. Like one of my best friends, Rustam Kapilov, is he's straight from the heart of Dagestan, and love those guys. But they don't fuck around, man. Like I was really surprised more people didn't rush the cage. Really thinking that was gonna happen, but yeah, it was gnarly. I ain't mad. Not surprised on either end how it went down. It takes it very personally.
Yeah, it was crazy to see. While it was happening, I was like, man, this has never happened before. This is nuts. You know what I mean? Like I was surprised because that's out of Khabib's character, but it was like I don't blame him. I mean, for all the things Conor said, I know they say all is fair in fight promotion, and if that's true, I mean, then you can't really blame Khabib for having so much emotions after the fight, even though the fight's over. You got Dylan Dennis yelling stuff at him, and people talking trash to him still, and I think he was just fired up and running with emotions and just hopped the cage and did something that was a little bit out of his character. But thank God it didn't end up as a huge riot, because it could have gone a lot worse than it did. But I think Conor, with him not pressing charges, shows that he understands too that he kind of egged this guy on and got what he deserved, and they're probably going to use this footage for the next fight. So it is what it is.
I mean, the UFC created it. You took a felony, got it on footage, and cut a promo with it, and then just let Conor do and say whatever he wanted to. So, of course, what do you expect to happen? And then, I don't know, my thoughts on it. Like, I do think there needs to be some lines kind of drawn as the bar set to get, eyes on the fight and from, to draw fans in. Like, the next time it's going to have to be bigger. So what's going to happen next? Like, Vitor Belfort made a post about it the following day about, we need to have guidelines because, what's gonna be next? We let this happen, then, some fighters are going to come along and he's going to want to get views. Maybe he brings a gun, to the weigh-ins or something and, flashes a gun. Which sounds crazy, but is it really? These things cannot happen. If you do these things, like, you're suspended. No questions. You don't take that and then cut it into a promo. So I do think there needs to be some boundaries set.
I was just disappointed. I really was. I mean, it's kind of unfortunate the way it happened, and it's kind of understandable, and all parties are to blame. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, they were competing for a ridiculous amount of money, and once the competition's over, it should all be squashed, no matter what. And I mean, Conor did his part. He promoted the fight. Khabib got paid. In my opinion, it should have been squashed there. But I mean, I'm not from his background. I don't see what he's seeing and through his eyes. So he's thinking something different. So I mean, I understand it, but I for the sport and as a fighter, I wish it didn't happen.
That was pretty wild. I mean, at the same time, it's not unexpected given. Just everyone's acting like this was an isolated incident, that he just hopped over the fence for no reason, but they're forgetting, all the stuff that McGregor did before that, months before. So here you have this guy who's been training hard. He's defending his belts, a lot of pressure on him, but, he's been keeping all this inside. He's also kind of, kept his composure during the conferences and all the trash talk and everything. And I think after his win, he was just emotional. It just all came out. And he was handling business, man. I mean, I don't know. There's two ways to look at it. The technical aspect as far as the fight. He went out there, he won. I think he ended up, he dominated the fight. But then at the end, he handled business. He did what he had to do. Whether people are for it or against it, I don't think it's good for the sport. It doesn't really give us the best light. But at the end of the day, he was feeling a certain way about people talking trash about his family, his religion, and all this stuff. So he did what he had to do, man. That's it.
There's two sides to that. One side of it is like just the fan of the sport, kind of like purist. That's like, oh, that's wrong. It's not a good image for the sport. It's bad. And the other side is that was entertaining as hell, man. Like that was entertaining. We can't lie about it. And for a casual fan, like people say it's bad for the sport. And I guess it's not really too good for the sport, but I feel like that drew so many eyeballs. I think there was like 300,000 views on the press conference, which was at 3 a.m. So I think that's a record right there. So I feel like, yeah, it was bad, but I can see where Khabib's coming from, because the amount of shit that Conor was saying, how do you not get emotional? And then to have the guy talking smack about you outside the cage. So, I mean, I feel like the bus incident was worse. That's just me personally.